This is another episode of K-Thugs Community Square. I'm Heather Polen, and I am privileged today to hold the microphone. Well, technically, he's holding the microphone, but to be here with Roy Thompson in his home. And Roy, you wanted to talk today about the water and sewer rate hikes, and you spoke a week ago. A week ago today, today's April 27th, at last week's city council meeting about the rate hikes for the water and sewer. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what you were trying to help the city council hear?
Well, they're trying to raise the water and the sewer rates to because their budget they're running out of money, I guess. But I heard they got sued for dumping raw sewage into the ocean, and so then they had to put in a new sewer plant. But the problem out here on Elk Valley Road and Maiden Lane in Iowa is they put this in years ago, and it keeps breaking, and they come out and mend it, but it never gets fixed. And down here on the corner of Maiden Lane, they have a manhole there, and when the wintertime comes, that thing fills up with water, overflows, and they have to get trucks here to pump it, and I'm sure that costs the city a lot of money.
I'm sure it does too. So you were trying to get the city council to hear about what the problems out here in the Birch Track, and specifically on Maiden Lane, or about the overall rate hikes to the water and sewer bill.
Well, basically, the problem that I see right here is right here on Elk Valley and Maiden Lane in Iowa. And they're saying my water bill is 22 something a month. Well, they're not counting the $9.75 that we get charged for birch water up there. It comes in on my bill also.
Okay. What kind of a impact is that going to have on you and your, if you don't mind, so that people are aware, how old are you?
I'll be 83 in May. And
Okay.
And every morning I wake up and look around and I say, I'm still here.
Well, that's a good thing. For those who aren't aware, Roy Thompson is my brother-in-law's dad. So I've known and loved you since I was in my teens, and I am far away from my being a teenager now. So what kind of an impact will that extra $60 to $100 on your water sewer bill have on you on a monthly basis?
Well, I used to work and I had a good salary. And I worked for the logging companies, like I said, and most of they all shut down. The last one I had was with Simpson Timber Company, and they shut the Klamath operation down, and everybody lost their jobs, and so there wasn't much retirement plan there. Only had 5 years in there, so that went pretty fast, and I took up barbering, and I barbered a little for a few years, and
A few years.
now, but now, it's getting shaky and old, and I can't stand behind the chairs like I used to. So all I have now is my Social Security, and it's not that much. And with my property taxes is went up, and now they want to up the sewer and the water again. And this is about the third or fourth or fifth time they've done this. And I'd like to know what they do with all the money. And I know they bought a motel up there for $1 million point something, and gave that to the homeless, or at least that's what I heard. And now they're talking about repairing some of the what they call apartment complexes that they own, I guess, putting a balcony on them. And I don't think it's right that they use our city water and sewer money to fix their property tax and stuff with. And if we have a problem, who are we going to go to get our lines fixed, or our power pole falls over? Who's going to fix that? They're not going to come out and fix it. So why should they hit all the people that's living in Crescent City, which has been here for years, with this big payment.
Yeah. So it's my understanding that the water and sewer rates for the average person hasn't been raised since in the last 10 years. And you're saying that your water and sewer rates go up every 3 or 4 years?
What? What?
Oh, sorry. So we're having a little bit of issue with Roy here, and hold on just one second. So it's my understanding that that the water and sewer rates have not been raised in about 10 years, and you're saying that your water and sewer bill is fluctuated over the past 3 or 4 years?
The last time they raised the sewer and the water, I don't know when they raised the water, but I know the sewer. They had this 5-year thing on the sewer, and it's went from something up to $66 and something, and it wasn't that much before. But with the whole thing, it's like $98 or $89 a
But
month.
it's $98 and some change.
Yeah.
So I live in the Birch Track as well, so I'm
Yeah.
not too far from you.
Oh, okay.
So it's $98, and we pay that extra $10 that was tacked on. Is that what you're referring to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what again? That's going to have an impact. What you're saying is if these rates go through in the 5 years when the water and sewer bill is raised, and you're paying the $162 a month,
Yeah.
that's going to affect your monthly finances. What is that? What area of your life is that going to affect? Are we talking about your ability to heat your home, to keep food on your table, or is that just an extra $50 or $60 that you would be spending in the community that you won't spend?
Well, and I'm sure I'm not by myself on this. I'm sure there's a lot of people that lives here in Crescent City that's on a fixed income,
Oh yeah.
and I'm sure it's going to affect all of us. And I don't think they should impact that much on the older people that live here and trying to get by, that pays their property tax every year, and just to own a piece of land. And I bought this way back in the '70s, and it wasn't too bad then. It seemed like they keep nailing a little bit on all the time, and it's just kind of hectic. And all the business, there used to be a lot of businesses here. How many businesses we have here now? And a lot of them are struggling, I'm sure. But I don't know where it's going to go.
Right. So, are you still bowling in the bowling leagues?
No, I got out of that.
You got out of that.
Yeah.
Was that just because of your age and your ability? You had other things to do, or is it the cost?
My age and ability, and the cost. It costs you $20 every time you bowl. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, basically, for those people like you who are still bowling on their fixed income, if you add on a $60 to their bill, then that's something they're going to have to let go of because they just can't afford to do it. Is that?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, and also I don't have anything against anybody ever, but the people that's on the council and the city manager, he was saying that it cost him quite a bit of money to drill a well, so that means he's not living here in Crescent City. If he is, he's living out somewhere, and I heard he was living out in Smith River. But isn't the city manager supposed to be in Crescent City?
Not my understanding. No, he would be an employee of the city.
Mm-hmm.
It's the city council members that we vote for that have to live within the city limits.
Okay.
So that's my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not put that as that's gospel. That's how I understand it. So that'd be like saying to be a police officer, the garbage person, you have to live with the trash collector. You have to live within the city limits. It's my understanding that you don't have to be to work for the city. So he's not elected. He was hired. And I think he used to be the city engineer, but I'm not sure on that one either. And that has been my concern about the rates this entire time, and talking with different people, is that it is going to have to it will be a substantial burden to those who are on fixed incomes. So not just our seniors, but our families who are just starting out and they live paycheck to paycheck already, and then adding on adding on the additional cost to their bill. And I look at mine too, and even at the $98, it's going to cost me more to flush my toilet than it's going to be to heat my home.
Oh yeah.
It's a weirdness. It just
Well,
is.
and two, if they would fix the problems as they come along, that would be one thing. But they don't. They just this place right here on Maiden Lane, right in front of Gary's place there, just above 209. Has broke 3 times in the last couple of years, 3 or 4 times. And right out here it broke, and the water runs down there and makes a pond down here at the end of the corner, and it runs for sometimes for days. But
Wow.
yet, if we use a little too much, they charge us extra. Our bill jumps up. So who pays for all that water that's going down the drain?
Right? I don't know.
I think it would be a better deal if they just had a flat rate and let the people use the water. I mean, Crescent City's got the best water around.
It really does. It's my understanding, unless you use a substantial amount of water, then there is basically a flat rate, and it works for a family of 6 to wash your laundry, cook your food, water your lawn, take a shower, those kinds of things, on what the average would be for a family of 6. It might be a family of 4, I don't know. But I've rarely ever exceeded what the basic flat rate for water and sewer is. But there's some people who were saying too that it should be metered the way electricity is metered, right? If it's just you in your home, and you're not using the same amount of water as a family of 6, then, or the same sewage capacity as a family of 6, then maybe you shouldn't pay the same flat rate.
Exactly.
How do you think about that?
Yeah, I've talked to him about that. Well, in the office, I've never talked to the city manager or anybody about it. But when I was living by myself here, I was paying just as much as a family of 4 or 6, and I told him, this is just not right. And now, too, since the dams went out, our power bill has, like, tripled here. It went from $75 up to $200. Well, at one time, it was $303 for 2 months right in a row.
Wow. And you think that's because the dams were removed that your electric bill has gone up?
That's a picture I got. And if some people say, no, those dams, they weren't using the power out of the dams anyway, but then the other people that lived over in the Klamath area said yes, they were. So I don't know for a fact, but
yeah, I don't know for a fact either. But it's my understanding that the dams haven't been used to produce electricity in a really long time.
Yep.
And then even if they were, again, I don't know that that's the same power company we have to generate that power for our area.
Yeah, they might have used that as an excuse to raise the bill. I don't know, but I know it went up after the dams went out.
Yeah. I think everybody everywhere's electric bills has gone up, and then those are all political reasons, and depending on what you believe politically, to what you think has caused that. But yeah, it's affecting everybody. So with all of the prices that have increased, right? Your electricity bill has gone up. The price of gas is higher. The price of food is substantially higher. With all of the cost of living, are you doing okay financially? Are you finding the resources that you need to make it month to month?
We're getting by, but it's like my car is a 2005. If something happens to it, I got to scrape up enough money to get it fixed, or try to. And I'm not like some of these people who drive around in brand new Lincolns and town cars, but my truck's a 2000, and it sits out there. But we can't take elaborate vacations and do the things I'd like to do, but it's just the way it is, I guess.
So basically, kind of what you're trying to tell the city council that it's going to vote on this is to find another way without being a financial burden to you, to our other seniors, and to those in our community who were already struggling financially.
Well, what I'd like to tell them is if everybody has a budget, I had a budget, they got a budget. Somebody ain't taking care of their money and the budget. So every time they run into a problem, you can't just run out and say, "Hey, I need more money. Let's catch these people and take their money. That's just goes against my principles. Like I tried to tell them at the meeting, if my house falls down, who's going to fix it? Are they going to come fix my house? No. And same way with this water and sewer. And I don't mind them raising it a little bit. If they need it, fine, but not as much as they're raising it. I think that's outrageous.
So if they need to have more money because the price of everything has gone up,
exactly.
Would you be more comfortable if they spread those rate hikes instead of over 5 years, with the first one being substantial, to maybe doing it over 7 or 10 years with making them all of the increases, the incremental increases equal? So every year, you're going to have to come up with an extra $15 every month, and then you can plan and budget for that. I'm just using the $15 as an example. I mean, what would be your solution? Because they've made it clear, the city has made it very clear that we need money to maintain our sewer plant, that it's old, that we need to replace things, all of that stuff. And its location's not the best. So what do you think a workable solution is to work for those that are living in the margins, those who could afford it comfortably, and we still need to have what is a municipal benefit to everybody to have that fixed?
Well, I think it'd be a feather in their hat to fix everything right the first time, and they wouldn't have to go back and do it. And to say that these guys come out and do their maintenance, well, they work every day anyway. They get paid every day. So why does it cost multiple money for them to come out and patch a hole out here or over here in my yard? And my road's been this way for 60 years, and I'm the only one that takes care of it. And we put gravel in there, try to take care of the holes and stuff. And that place right down at the corner of Maiden Lane, it's a lake every time it rains.
Yeah.
And I don't know who put it in there, but I know they come out and put that drain in there and put it across there, and ever since then we've had that big hole there. So.
Okay, so you have multiple issues you want addressed with the city. So there is, and I'll help you find the website so that you can let the city know, the county know, but they are trying to find out where the issues like this are, that undermine our roads, that flood people's property, that cause damage, so that they can, over time, come in and figure out and do the engineering to figure out where the water is pooling up, where it's coming from, where it's going, and why is it not being drained away properly. So I'll help you find that website and mark the areas that you were talking about. So this rate hike, is my understanding, is not for the infrastructure within the streets, or coming to your home or my home, or leaving your home or my home. It's specific for the treatment plant, the wastewater treatment plant.
Yeah, because he had to put a new one in because the other one wasn't doing its job. But again, I went down and toured through there, and I seen a lot of the problems there. That people are sitting around playing on the computers and not doing their job. And that water should have been tested 40 times a day before it went out into the ocean or wherever. And that's my thought on it anyway. Some people are just not doing their jobs.
Yeah. I'm not really sure why there was the release of the untreated water the way that it was, and the reason behind that. And right, it's just speculation on my part, and I don't want to contribute to conspiracy theories or rumors about the people who are doing their best to get their jobs done. But it's really complicated. Maybe we can get a tour on video and put it out there on YouTube, so that people understand what's taking place, what needs to be fixed and repaired, what needs to be maintained, and the importance of this in a way that people will understand it instead of just technical jargon. I don't know, maybe that's the solution. It just seems to be very divisive within our community, and that's sad to me.
Too, they need to break all this down and show the people where the money goes, uh, rather than just put it in general fund and everybody use it up. Because we don't know what they're doing with the money, and yet every time they have a problem, they want to hit the people with it. So, and I think it's something this major should be put up to a vote to the people, more or less, not just 3 or 4 people on a council.
So you think this? Well, I guess it kind of does. I mean, it's not a general vote, but there's that protest letter that you can either mail back or submit. Did you fill that out and submit it? Is that you're protesting the rate hike?
I didn't.
Did you know about that? You're okay. So you have a friend here in the house with you who's saying that you did send it in.
Okay.
Okay, but I don't know that you did or you
Yeah.
didn't. But
Yeah, we did.
if you want to protest it, you might want to call the city and find out if they've received it, or how if you've done it properly,
Yeah.
because it will the rates will go up for all of us if they don't get 51% people protesting it. And again, I understand the need for it, but I am greatly concerned for people who are like you or the way I have lived a portion of my life with paycheck to paycheck. It would be a substantial thing. And the effects on the community, right? You were saying that this is, when we used bowling as an example, that you would, if you were still bowling in the league, that $20 a week, that would be going to flush your toilet. So you wouldn't be bowling anymore, which affects the bowling alley's income. It's going to be the same thing for people who would possibly be going out to dinner once a month with their family. That's going to go away. An extra purchase at the store, or ordering our pesto rolls and those types of things, right? All of that stuff will stop for 44% of our community who lives on a fixed income. And that's going to have a huge, we're not even talking about trickle down effect. That's going to have a huge effect on everybody in our community, from the ratepayers to the businesses, and a substantial amount of money that's going to be going to the sewer plant versus circulating through our community. And that's my concern. So, and I don't know what the answers are. I genuinely don't.
Well, me neither.
Right,
But
and that's why we have the community square, so that we can come out and talk about this.
if I could afford it, I'd move to Oregon. And I've had this place over 60 years.
And you want to leave because you can't.
But I like it where I'm at here. It's just, it seems like we're at the end of the tail with a bull here, with a downhill pull.
So at 80, you'll be 83 on the 20th of May, and
Right.
you no longer feel like you can make it in your home.
I know. Yeah, and I'm too old to fight this thing. Yeah. And it seemed like even before when they going to raise these rates and stuff, people showed up to meetings and they just sat up there and look at you, and nothing seems to come across. And then at the end of the thing, it's like I talked to my friend Jerry, and he goes, why go to the meeting? They're going to pass it anyway, and it seems like they do. So.
Wow. So you don't feel like the city council heard what you were trying to say when you went and spoke to them last Monday? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm not going to point fingers at anybody, but it seems like it gets passed. So,
yeah. And again, right, we need to have those repairs done. We needed to have it maintained on a regular basis.
But nothing seems to change. Nothing seems to get fixed.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
Nothing seems to change and nothing seems to get fixed.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yep.
And that's been that way since I can remember.
Exactly.
Since I was a kid.
Yep.
Nothing seems to change and nothing seems to get fixed.
And like I told them at the meeting, when I moved here in '64, this was such a beautiful little town, and I really liked it. I liked it a lot. And it seems like it's went downhill in the last 20 years that I've lived here. And I don't know why, but I know there's a lot of businesses that have left. We used to have 2 car dealerships here. We had mechanics everywhere. We had 4 or 5 grocery stores here and garages that you could go here and just about get anything you needed. Now you can't get nothing here. You have to go out of town to get it. So that's another one of my beefs.
Yeah, it definitely is getting harder and harder to remain in Del Norte County for both our youth and for our elders, and we are having that disconnect. Roy, I would love to come back and talk to you again about all of these things, and find out how we change the nothing gets done and nothing gets fixed.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
they say if you go to the store and want something, they say, oh yeah, just look this up online. You can order it online. Well, that ain't helping me any. Because then you order it, you get the wrong thing. Because then you got to ship it back, and that ain't working either. So
Yeah, maybe it is about connection and
yeah,
buying our things and talking to the people and our neighbors and building back up. I don't know. I just know that, like you said, what we currently have isn't working, and
yeah,
we got to find a way.
yeah. I know. I'm not a politician, and I never could be because I know how they are. My dad just said, pick your favorite one and vote for him. Yeah, it's just what it is, and I don't like it, but I don't know what I could do about it.
Well, I think you took the first steps by going up and speaking at the city council meeting, and having that faith that maybe, just maybe, they'd hear you.
Yeah.
Well, I heard you, and the people listening today heard you, and I appreciate your willingness to speak and to use your voice to create the change you want.
Yeah.
And I hope more people will take this opportunity. If you would like to be a guest and have that conversation and to use your voice on the K-Thug Community Square, go ahead and email me at...
I also would like to see them do something about the swamp out here with all those people. They go by here all night long, 24 hours a day, seems like.
That's very true.
But they are patrolling it a little more.
Well, that's good, and they're hoping to open up that micro village here pretty soon to give people a place to go. But again, if you would like to, and I would love to have that conversation with you because you were literally right there on the edge. If you would like to have a conversation with the Community Square, email communitysquare@kfuglp.org. Again, that's communitysquare@kfuglp.org. Thanks, Roy.
Well, thank you. Have a good day.